What is up, my dudes, and welcome on into week 2 and 3 of the MTBL Draft League. I'm sorry for not posting last week's video, as during the recording, which you'll see very shortly, I was very tired during my week 2 match, and because of that, I played very badly, and during the recording, I was complaining a lot, so I didn't want to put that out because I did not want to put out bad content. But instead, I'm going to be putting out both weeks in this one video, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get in. For week 2, we went up against Decidui and the Aurora Absols. This team packs a huge amount of threats for my team specifically. We have Perugly, which has Stat Facade, which can nuke my entire team, Lightball Pikachu, which gets stronger on both its attacks, as well as Dracloak and Reboot, which are both very fast, very fair physical and or special attackers. She even has a lot of utility, which includes Ferocity, which can set up hazards and Thunder Wave my team, Pelipper, which can bring in Tailwind, as well as defog any hazards that I set up, as well as Sableye, which has Prankster, which puts any status moves to have +1 priority, leaving me with a lot of Thunder Wave and or Will-O-Wisp Mons, and possibly even Screens, which can reduce the damage that my Pokemon all do. This week was very hard to prepare for, so I did my best to come up with a plan for every possible contingency that this team could throw at me. To start off with our team, we have the first week that this Pokemon is on. We have OCMD, our Golduck, holding the Life Orb, running a max special attack, max speed, timid nature. It has Scald and Ice Beam to do huge damage to most of the entire team, Focus Blast to deal with that Perugly, as well as Ferocity, and even Nasty Plot to set up if I get the opportunity. Next, we have Chicago or Zebstrika holding the Expert Belt. Zebstrika's goal this week is to just do as much damage as possible, and even guarding up against Pikachu with Lightning Rod. Wild Charge so that we don't miss Supercell Slam like we did last week, High Horsepower, and Trailblaze for coverage, especially against Golem, as well as Overheat to mostly deal with Ferocity that it can't OHKO, but it can do pretty much almost full damage, so we can at least deal with it to the best of our ability. Next up, we have Pittsburgh, our Hisuian Sliggoo, running a full defensive set, running max HP, max defense, Impish Nature with a Rocky Helmet to deal with that very pesky Perugly. We're running Curse for setup, Gyro Ball and Outrage for huge damage against our team, and Rest for the recovery that we can get, as well as Rocky Helmet so that we can punish the Perugly for hitting us with any of its physical moves. Next up, we have North Pole or Delibird making its first debut onto the team. We have Heavy Duty Boots so that we don't get hit by any hazards. We're running mostly max HP, a little bit of special attack, and max speed so that we can be as fast as we can, survive as long as we can to do what we need to do, and be able to hit a little harder. We have Timid Nature as well to make sure that we're full speed ahead. We have Freeze Dry specifically for Pelipper so that we can try to OHKO it as easily as possible, as well as do a whole bunch of chip damage to any other Pokemon in the team. We also have Spikes for extra hazard control, Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards that the Ferocity will set up, and Destiny Bond to see if we can possibly secure a KO for anybody who is willing to attack us. Next up, we have Kingsman or Glimmet with Focus Sash as its item this week to make sure we get up as much hazards as possible. We have Corrosion so that we don't give the Perugly any ability to get poison outside of possibly getting Toxic. We also have it specifically that we can Toxic the Ferocity on the other team to deal with it as best as we possibly can. We're running Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Protect as well so that we can get up as much hazards and also protect ourselves and stall out any Toxic turns. Last but not least, we have Georgia or Morgram with the Eviolite running max HP, max Spadef for that pesky Dracloak. We're running Draining Kiss so that we can do a little bit of damage back to it and heal up any damage it can possibly do to us. Light Screen and Reflect to get up dual screens for the rest of our team. And Parting Shot. Parting Shot may be a little bit of a double-edged sword as Perugly could be defiant, but it's the best pivoting move we have so that we can give our screens to another Pokemon member of our team. And that's the team we have for week number 2. And like I said before, since I didn't have much good commentary, I'm going to be doing live recording right now so that you can understand why I did certain things during this battle and what went so wrong during the battle. Alright, so inside the battle here, just to give you a fair warning here, I was very tired. So first off, they did not have Ferocity, of which I really planned for. And my opponent also put on the battle timer, which I could have disputed, but I decided not to. So I decided to set up with Kingsman, with Stealth Rocks, of course, in the beginning, just to get that up. And I was like, you know what? Let's just get full hazards with the Golem. So Golem already took out Glimmet. Glimmet did kind of his job, though. So I was debating here whether to do Scald or Ice Beam. Decided to do Scald just to be safe. And I really wish I did Ice Beam here because Pelipper actually would have gone down with 2 Ice Beams. But all of Glimmet's work is now gone. So I basically just lost a Mon for nothing. So I decided to spud here, expecting a U-turn and all that sort of thing. But I did fail to realize that pretty much every single Pokemon on their team would outspeed. So since Proglay came out, decided to switch over to Pittsburgh here. And, you know, just kind of set up with a little bit of Curse. I should have probably outreached here, but I decided not to. Just because of all the Mother Mons. Instead decided to Gyro Ball, just get some chip, since it's probably so fast. And ended up pretty much sacking my Duck to Reboot because I forgot that it had high jump kick and could use something other than a fire move. Thankfully, my opponent actually forgot to put Libero on it, so it actually didn't OHKO, but I was in this tough spot. I switched to Pittsburgh, forgetting that I didn't have the same Protect set from last week, which is the reason why it's out now, even though it just used high jump kick. Realized my mistake was like, well, I can't really do too much else. And since I was Fizz Def, I was like, well, maybe I could survive one, but ended up not working that well. I ended up switching to Chicago and was figuring, okay, well, Chicago would probably do the best it can since it does outspeed all of the members of their team, unless they're Scarf. They switched out the Golem here, and High Horsepower did less than half. Trailblaze brought it down to 1 HP, which was extremely unfortunate here because that allowed the Custep Berry Earthquake to come out where it revenged pretty much the only mana team that could have reverse sweeped their team. Then, of course, I bring out North Pole, you know, to finish it off with that Freeze Dry, which allowed speed. Pika came out and, you know, just OHKOs with Volt Tackle. Morgan then comes out, and I decided to set a Reflect just to absorb a lot of damage. I realized that Volt Tackle is not a 2-hit KO, so I decided to bring out Draining Kiss, and they actually ended up bringing out Dracloak, which allowed Morgan to just secure a kill after a Phantom Force, which was really cool tech from them. Still stuck in the same exact spot. Not very much I can do against them, but I figure, you know, maybe I can do a little something. Probably can't do much, and with my Reflect turns wearing out, and I'm not able to do much healing on Draining Kiss, Facade from Proglay ends up taking out my Morgram, and that's pretty much the end of the battle. So between me being tired and the battle timer being on, I just became flustered and ended up just losing. After that devastating loss, I decided instead to switch my focus onto my battle for week number 3, where I was going to be facing Little Bigs and the Rain City Rillaboos. His team consists of a lot of threats, such as Altaria, which is both bulky, utility-based, and very offensive, Semiseer and Frogadier, which are really fast attackers, as well as Krokorok, Palmo, and Matang, who can all be really heavy physical attackers against my team. He also has Shiinotic, Volbeat, and Marini, which can be a little bit bulky, but provide a whole bunch of utility as well as disruption to my entire team. He also has an Eevee and Poltergeist, which are mostly here alone for the ride, but can have a few utility uses on the side. This team posed to be a huge threat, so I decided to match my team up to mostly fit around the biggest threats on their team. First up, we have our GOAT, or more so our Zebra, Chicago, running back that Swagger mirror set from the first week. We have max attack, max speed, but this week we're running Adamant Nature since the opponent does not have as much speed to contest us on. We're running Supercell Slam because I know that Strike Hit can hit it this week, High Horsepower, and Flame Charge over Trailblaze because tight matchups make that better. We're running Sap Sipper so we can deal with Shiinotic and any of its shenanigans, and since our opponent doesn't really have any electric type moves to really hit us with. Second up, we have OCMDR Golduck running back the Life Orb, max attack, max speed, timid set. We're running Scald, Ice Beam, and Nasty Plot, but this week we're switching out Focus Blast for Psychic Noise to deal with that Peskin Marini, as well as Palmo if it switches in onto our Golduck. Of course, we can't forget Pittsburgh, who was our tank for this week. We're running a Violate Shell Armor so that we don't get crit, as well as running almost max HP, a little bit of attack investment, and max special defense overall. We're running Rest and Sleep Talk for recovery, as well as being able to attack our opponents while we're sleeping, as well as Gyro Ball and Curse, just so that we can set up and do a huge amount of damage, since Little Biggs' team is mostly fixed on having a lot of speed on every single Pokemon on their team. Finally, for the first week, Nashville comes onto the scene as our Combuskin, running Speed Boost as well as Citrus Berry for extra recovery from either Flare Blitz or our enemy attacking us. We're running Max Attack, Adamant Nature to deal as much damage as possible, Max Speed, of course, to outspeed as much as we can, as well as running Close Combat Flare Blitz for dual stab, Facade in case of Marini toxicking us and doing neutral damage to the entire team, as well as Swords Dance to click that button to give us more damage and give ourselves a free speed boost to both add to our power and our speed in one single turn. Next up, we have Georgia or Morgan running back the usual Violet Prankster set, running Max HP, Defense, and Spadef invested specifically for some moves hitting us, as well as a little bit of speed and timid nature to outspeed Volbeat with 0 speed investment. We have Foul Play to deal damage, since a lot of Little Biggs' team is mixed attackers, so regardless of who we're going up against, we'll do a lot of damage, and especially the Metang, who poses a lot of defensive threat as being the Steel type. We're running Light Screen Reflect to reduce the incoming damage on our team, as well as Thunder Wave to hinder the enemy team, having their speed and stopping them from possibly doing moves against our team. Last up, we have Asheville, our Vespiquen, as our hazard control, running the Heavy Duty Boots and Defog. We have mostly max HP, good special attack investment, and a little bit of Spadef investment to do big damage against the team, as well as take a couple hits. We have Hurricane just to do damage against the entire team. We have Power Gem to deal specifically with Altaria, as well as U-Turn to deal with extra damage with Croc Rock and to also pivot around the enemy team. That's the team we have for this week, so I hope you enjoy the battle, and let's get into it. Yo, what is up, my dudes, and welcome on into week 3 of the Draft League, facing off against Lil Biggs' team. I already forgot the name of it. A lot of big threats their team had. They did actually bring all the Mons I thought they were going to bring. And low-key, I'm kind of excited about this. I'm not going to lie. Alright, so they're either going to bring out Metang or Krokorok. So I think Asheville's the safest bet for the beginning here. But Chicago should also be able to OHKO it. Ooh. Wow. He actually predicted that. That's kind of crazy work. I'm not going to lie. Shoot. I guess Nashville. I'll bring in Nashville here. To get that speed boost up. Whether it uses Grass Knot to predict Golduck be a thing. I'm surprised. I was hoping. These guys are really thinking. That's 2 weeks in a row I've gotten predicted on my intro twice. Although last week was a bit of a disaster, I'm not gonna lie. Bringing out the Croc. Alright. Intimidate. This guy is making the right switches here. Holy crap. Can I survive Earthquake? Worst comes to otherwise he knocks off. Can I survive Earthquake here? I want to make sure I'm on my toes this week. So if I'm calcing stuff, if I'm calcing things, just be wary. Krokorok, Earthquake will OHKO me regardless. So yeah, I'll just double back into Asheville. I'm not worried. Worst comes to worst, I had Rocks up. Yeah, I think just doubling back. Because, yeah, I'll just go back to Vespiquen. Slip pivot Vespiquen here. And then I'll just U-turn out for that free chip. Worst comes to worst. Actually, I don't really think there's a worst comes to worst with Marini. Because Marini is going to be slow. So I can U-turn out and then probably go into Sliggoo out of everything. Where's my This. Go to Sliggy here. There's the T-Spikes. I do have... Ooh, Violet going down. That's going to be annoying. So I'm still more susceptible in general. I don't really think Marini can do much to me though. I'll fire off a Gyro Ball for the switch. Okay, that's fine. Worst comes to worst, I'll just go back into Vespiquen. I'm using default Vespiquen, so I'm not that upset. So they're running T-Spikes, knock off Haze. I cannot touch this Marini. Ugh. I need to get Zebstrika in for Marini. It's gonna be the biggest issue I have for it. Scald. Burn's not gonna matter because I'm running special. Vespiquen anyways. Although I don't have heal order, so I'm just gonna get chipped up over and over again. Fire off a free Hurricane here. Either get chip on Marini, chip on somebody else. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do safe. I'm gonna do a safe one. Safe default here. Krokorok can hit me hard. Ooh, getting chip on Asheville is gonna be bad. I'm gonna have to get up screens pretty soon. I'm gonna do a U-turn though. They might expect me to double because I have been doubling a lot. Or I haven't switching to pivot. Krokorok's gonna be a huge threat. I want to slow pivot in the Golduck here. And then see if I can get a burn on somebody with Scald. Yeah, knockoff comes out. Heavy duty boots. Big damage on the Krokorok here. Bring in OCMD. Outspeeds unless it's Scarf. Good to fire off Scald here. Actually, everybody... Burn would be insane. No burn. Okay. Unless you're running Scarf. Because what? You can only really get chip here if you're running physical as well. That's the only thing. If it's running physical, it can get chip, but that's pretty much it. Otherwise, Pizzer's going to wall it. And I do have Zebstrika. I just need to get rid of Krokorok. The moment I get rid of Krokorok, Zebstrika becomes free. If I get a burn, that'd be insane. No burn twice. Ooh, I still have speed though. Huge, huge damage. But did do a lot of health though. I'm about to play around Krokorok once again. Ooh. Okay, I'll go into Pittsburgh. Or do I want to go Nashville? I might go Nashville expecting U-turn. Pittsburgh's the safest. Pittsburgh's the safe option. As much as I want to do, yeah. As much as I wanted, I should have. Dang, bro. I'm running a Spadef Pittsburgh though. Not physical. So Krokorok's still gonna be a huge issue here. Best thing for them to put in would be Krokorok. Although I am Rest Talk on Pittsburgh. Interesting. Does that thing get Recover? Genuine question. Does it get Recover? Metang. Does not get Recover. Unless it's going to set up. 30 to 71, depending on how much speed it has. How much will this do? If I'm running, let's see, reset. How much is it doing? To the tank blank set, unless it's max speed, it'll be a 2-hit roll if it's max speed. Power Up Punch. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I can always revenge it though. Pittsburgh in this case is decent, but it does get walled by a lot of Mons here. It's going to get walled and overpowered by a lot of Mons. But slowing it down on -1 plus a 1 attack. That's an okay. That is a chance to kill. That is a chance to kill. It does get Earthquake. Oh right, I'm silly. I forgot that it got Earthquake. What am I doing? My silly self. All right. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm throwing, chat. I'm throwing. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I put him out. Because I don't have Protect on this. Shoot, I have to survive. Or have to expect them to switch, saving Metang. It's the only thing I can do. Because I get speed boost. I have to bluff a Protect. Because they haven't seen my Combustion set. I have to bluff a Protect. Or bluff Scarf. I did it. Oh my goodness, bro. Now I'm gonna get hazed, but I'm not worried about that. Because Assad does huge damage regardless. Alright, that's fine. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have close combated. I didn't think about that. Like, what are you gonna do to me? Toxic me? I have Facade. I played my hand at Facade here. Alright, knocked off my Citrus. That's fine with me. I'm going for close combat here. Brings it down. If you haze me, I'm fine with it. There's nothing it can really do to touch me, except for Scald. And it can't burn me, and I'll be faster. I don't know, outside of Metang, I don't know if it's even running, if they're running priority. I just need to get rid of Krokorok. Krokorok's my biggest issue. They can't... Yeah, they can't status me either. And I do have Morgrim in the back. Once Krokorok's gone, Morgan and Zebstrika go absolutely dummy. Because then I can just spam T-Wave on all their Pokemon. Also, they're running like a non-stab Batang. Could be running Ironhead more for Morgrim, but I don't know if I outspeed. They're probably running max speed, so no, they probably won't outspeed me. If they play Haze, they do Scald. Okay, they do use Scald. Very good. Get Facade for chip damage. Because I don't want anybody revenging me yet. Alright, Marini's down. That's a big threat down. I'm +3 speed, so I speed anybody even if they're Scarf. So now I can just start firing off close combats and flare blitzes. Actually, I can just fire off close combats in their entire team. Altaria may be the only issue though. Yeah, Altaria is gonna be the biggest issue I have. Bunny set Altaria with Combustion +2 with Facade. Facade does 50%. Close combat will do the most damage otherwise. So I can just do huge chip damage with Altaria here. There's Earthquake. I don't know if there's Scarf or not. So if there's Scarf, they'll switch because they can't hit Asheville. Worst comes to worst, they go... Okay, they're not Scarf. Wait, what? Oh, that's why. I was so confused. I was wondering if I did like no damage. So there's Spadef Altaria. Makes sense. I'll slowly turn out. I'm losing Mons on my side, but I did get rid of the Marini, which does wall a good portion of my Pokemon. OCMD can come in to revenge Altaria. Huge slow pivot from my end. Bring an OCMD here. And then I'll just fire off a Scald. Actually, does Sign always kill me here? Golduck. Metane, blank set. Psychic Noise. Still doesn't kill. Yeah, I have to fire off. Ice Beam would kill, and Scald would kill. Scald Stab. There's no use not doing it. OCMD's almost down. That's gonna free up Krokorok. But then if I let OCMD go down. Alright. Let me bring in Georgia here. Yeah, that's a for you turn for them. Alright. That works for me. I can Thunder Wave. Unless they're running Lum. If they're running Lum, that's stupid, bro. Holy crap. They're probably running Specs. Semi-Seer, I imagine. I have also chipped Krokorok very well here. So I'm still opening Zebstriko for a cleaning run. Get a reflect here. The more they use workup, the stronger I'm also against them. And I believe I outspeed them at this point. Let's switch the light screen first. Because even chipping Croc Rock's gotta be insane for me. Trying to think. Who's my team opening up for? Frogadier, if they're Scarf. I still have zero clue if they are or not Scarf. Croc Rock still I don't think isn't fully open because Zipstrika still can outspeed. And I don't know how much damage have I done. Who did damage to Croc Rock? It was U-turn, right? That's gain. Yep. Doesn't really do much. Who did damage to Croc Rock? Sent out Croc Rock. Asheville defogged. Ooh, Brick Break. That's smart. Foul Play should still do a lot of damage though. That's an Oko. Holy crap! Croc Rock's gonna come in here just so I can't get T-Wave. I know that one for certain. I might sack off Asheville at that point. Or maybe not. No, because I don't think they have anything else to deal with my screens. Otherwise, T-Wave, they're gonna have to bring out Croc Rock. That's the only thing that they can actually do for that. And I am a Violate. I don't know if it could be Bandit Croc. I wouldn't be surprised. Just getting Reflect off for their team might be the end of it. Croc Rock lost 29%. So Croc Rock with this set against Croc Rock, U-turn should they are a Violate. Unless they're, well, they also -1. Or not -1 still should be 53. So what is it? Is it FizzDev a Violate? Where is this again? Is it turn 8? Turn 8. Croc Rock lost 30%. Or 29%. It has to be. It has to be. It's not max defense. It's full HP. Okay, so it's max HP of Violite. Croc Rock. OCMD. Huge predict on my end here. If they go all Taria, that'd be funny. I need to keep an OCMD. Alright, so if they switch Frogadier, I'll switch back into Asheville. Worst thing they can do is Blizzard. Blizzard then opens up Zipstrika and then starts sweeping. Where's my Zipstrika set? Here we go. Chicago. With this set. Still getting Jolly here. And I'm running not extra. Oh, okay, it's not gonna matter as much. Aurora Absols still is a 2-hit. So the moment I get Swagger off. Alright, that's gonna be free damage with that. That's gonna be free damage into Asheville. I need to keep OCMD up because that outspeeds both Pokemon that they have left. It does like no damage. Croc Rock probably gonna have, yeah. I'm gonna have to let Asheville go down here. There's nothing else I can do on that end. I'll have to Hurricane. See if I can get a huge amount of chip off. Yep, Stone Edge comes in. Exactly predicted. Alright, now I'm gonna have to get up reflect. I'm gonna have to get up reflect off. I had to hope for the miss. For that to work out well. All the pieces are not coming back. Zipstrika is the only Mon that I have that can really take on his team. It could be max attack. I need to get chip on. If it's max speed, it'll outspeed me. If it's not max speed, big damage still. That's actually really good damage for me. I'm not gonna lie. They can't let Croc take this war. All right. I have to. Zipshark is the only hope I have left. I have to. Swagger miss. Are you kidding me? There's no way. Swagger, I need you to confuse him. The only way I win this is if I get confused. If I confuse Crocorock. Otherwise, I'm dead regardless. It does not matter. Yes. Hold up. Chat, we're back in it. Chat, we're back in it. I'm back in it. If I'm gonna scout for protect. I have to scout protect. No! He earthquake? Wisp! Wait, he doesn't. He doesn't have it. I thought he had protect. Chicago! Chicago! Out for blood! Sweeping out back again! I'm at the high horsepower. I'm not trying to risk death as much. Can this Oko? Hold on. +2. +2. I'm at what is it? +2 flame charge. Bogadier's scarf. Flame charge is an Oko. Yup. GG's. GG's little bigs. Alright. Woo! Lancaster Landorus. After last week messing up, we bring it back. Our record is 2-1. GG's little bigs. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day/night. I will see you guys in the next video and or stream. Peace.